Here at Connelly Company, we're set up to cut the last remaining joints before we can ship the frame to the island. Now, at the heart of the timber frame elements is this joint right here. This is a 32-foot long span. This distance from here to here is 32 feet. Normally, we'd use a 32-foot long timber, but we couldn't find one. So we needed to take two shorter ones and join them together with a traditional joint called a scarf. Scarf joints go back to at least the 15th century. The name comes from the Old Norse and means the end of a piece of board cut off on the bias. So Josh, how do you get started?
Well, first thing we do is make a template.
That's this thing right here.
It's this guy right here.
Okay.
For a joint this complex, you want it to be a perfect fit, perfect match. Then we go ahead and we knife our edge.
Knife meaning you take a razor knife.
Razor knife, and just run it along our pencil line. Then we're ready to cut.
Cut away. That's called a plunge cut, right?
Yes, that's a plunge cut.
And you gotta have a steady hand to do that with that big saw. So Josh, you've made this cut and this cut, right?
Yes, that's right.
What's next?
Now I'll just finish those up, and then I gotta make my bevel cuts.
Those guys.
Here and here.
What's next, Josh?
Our last cut will be with our hand saw.
So that is a Japanese-style saw.
Japanese-style pull saw.
And it cuts instead of on the push, like an American-style saw, on the pull.
On the pull.
What's the advantage of that?
Well, you have a thinner blade, and ergonomically it works a much better. You can cut a much straighter line.
Plus, it looks cool.
Plus, it looks cool.
It's also a lot of fun, so I jump in. There you go. That's it for the rough out. So now you can see the scarf taking place here. Time to go at it with the chisels, huh?
Yep.
While Josh refines his half of the scarf joint, another timber framer, Nat Bell, is finishing the other half. Now, what goes through your mind as you start to finish out the scarf?
Well, to be honest, this is my favorite part of timber framing. You know, the power tools go away, the shop quiets down, everybody gets in close to their work and focuses. This is really why I timber frame, the handwork.
Show me your chisel, because that's a really critical part of this.
Right, this is a hand-forged chisel made by a fellow who's actually a trained sword maker. He actually apprenticed in Japan. It takes a great deal of patience, and you just have to pay attention to which direction the grain is going.
So look at these shavings. These are like paper thin. In fact, you can see through them. That's precision. After both timber framers finish their detailed work, it's time to see if the two sides fit together. All right, this is the moment of truth.
There we go.
We then run a string line to get the timbers lined up straight. And now all we need to do is drive in some wedges to hold the scarf joint tightly together.
Key to the wedging is we want to drive our wedges at the same time, so I'll hit from one side while you hit from the other.
And two short beams are turned into one long, strong beam. A pair of these scarf beams would be able to bear all the weight of my building's roof, even with all the wind and snow a New England winter can throw at it.
That's it. I'm quite happy with it. Are you happy with it?
Well, I'd have to give it a good look before I put it up in my barn now. Of course the scarf joint fits like a glove. It's on to the next challenge, making sure the rest of my frame fits together before we transport it to the job site. Any mistakes we don't catch now will cost us dearly once we're on the island.